We'll now look at shortcuts for derivatives of trig functions. And while I showed you where the power rule came from when dealing with power functions, I'm not going to do that with the trig functions. You can use the definition of the derivative to find them along with a lot of trig identities, but for now we're just going to give you the formula. The derivative of a function that looks like sine of ax, where a is any real number, is a cosine ax. So, for instance, if f of x is sine of 4x, then the derivative, f prime of x, is going to be 4 cosine 4x. If our function's something like 12 sine pi x, then our derivative will be 12 pi cosine pi x. And now let's look at one that will make a little more complicated. Here we want to find the tangent line of this function 6 sine 2x at x equal to pi over 6. So for a tangent line we need a couple of things. First we need our point. Our x value is going to be pi over 6, and then our y value will be 6 times sine of 2 pi over 6, which turns out to be 3 root 3. We also need our derivative. We know we bring this number out front, so we have 12 cosine 2x. And we need to evaluate this at pi over 6. So 12 times cosine of 2 pi over 6 is just 6. So our line is 3 root 3 plus the derivative times x minus our x value, pi over 6. And I won't reduce this formula for this line, but we do now have the tangent line. So now we've discussed the derivative and how the derivative of sine is cosine. But what's the derivative of cosine? Well, the derivative of cosine ax is negative a sine ax. The derivative of sine is cosine, and the derivative of cosine is negative sine. So we do introduce this negative sign here, so it's important to watch your signs. But for an example, if cosine is 3x, then our derivative is going to be negative 3 sine 3x. And if our function looks like 5 times cosine of pi over 2x, then our derivative is going to be 5 pi over 2 sine pi over 2x. And let's do one of these that's a little more complicated. This time I have the function 4 cosine 2x, and I want to find the tangent line at pi over 12. So my x value is pi over 12, and my y value, 2 times pi over 12 is pi over 6, and cosine of pi over 6 is root 3 over 2, times 4 would be 2 root 3. We also need the derivative. Bringing the 2 out front, I would have 8 sine 2x. And then evaluating this at pi over 12, well, pi over 12 times 2 is going to be pi over 6, and sine of pi over 6 is 1/2, times 8 is 4. So my line says my y value plus my derivative times x minus my x value. So now I have my tangent line here.